We're only a few days away from ringing in a new year, and I like to take this time of year to reflect on where I've been, look ahead at what I want to do in the upcoming year, and most importantly, to reorganize the studio. So today we're going to take a look at the new configuration. Right now, the studio is pretty picked up. But most of the time, it's a mess in here. And when it comes to being creative, one of the challenges that I know I face is being able to move things around easily so I can get the shots that I want. And I also want to be able to access the equipment that I need very quickly, from cameras to lights to microphones or whatever that looks like. I want to be able to have easy access to all of that equipment here in the studio. On Mondays, I could be shooting a YouTube video like this. And then on Tuesdays, I could have an entirely new configuration in here. I could have clients recording a podcast or an interview, and I really need to be able to make those changes very quickly and easily. So that's what I'm really going for the space this year. And the big change that I made was I moved my desk away from the window, as you've probably seen in previous videos, and I placed it not only in the middle of the room, but I upgraded to a desk on wheels. So what I can do is I can create multiple video angles from this spot like this. I can move the camera in multiple different areas, but more importantly, I can move the desk forward and have a nice wide spot for podcast recordings or even for interview recordings as well. So that's really the big change that I made here in the studio is the desk is in the middle, and then I have all of the different angles scattered around the room. One of the first things you see when you walk into the room is this circular table. I place this by the window. I have my overhead camera rig all set up so I can do top-down shots. It's a great place for any of my guests to come. They can sit here at the table. And then as you'll see later on in this video, I still use it to capture interviews and podcasts. Like many YouTubers, videographers, and photographers, having a space to organize and assemble your cameras or your equipment is really a game changer. So I turn to tool chests to do this. Now these are designed to organize little pieces of gear. And that's exactly what I work with pretty much every day, from cameras to lenses to microphones to monitors, whatever it is. I can easily assemble all of those items here on the tabletop. And then I have all of these drawers down below that I can place all of the items are easily accessible. And I love that this setup is on wheels. So if I do need to move this tool chest at all I have to do is wheel it to whatever I need to here in the office. I don't have to empty everything out first and put it back in and do something like that. So you'll see a theme here in the studio. I love placing everything on wheels. You've probably seen this setup in a previous video. This is my audio cart. Got my Rodecaster Pro 2, my A10 Mini Pro ISO, my Rodecaster video, whatever I need to capture audio and video, I place it on this cart. Also down below, I place any microphones that I might use for future setups. I love this because I can see everything. I can open the drawer. All of my XLR cables are here. Down below, I can easily see and grab microphone stands, microphones, cables, whatever it is. It's so easy to grab off of this cart. This cart is also nice and light. So regardless of the setup that I have going on here in the studio, I can wheel this around. I can place it wherever I need to. I can use it as a backdrop, as I'm kind of doing here. I can put any podcast recording equipment there, but this audio cart or audio video cart is something that I use often and I just love it. Have I mentioned that I love tool chests to organize all of my items? I have another large size tool organization chest here in the studio as well. This is another spot that I'm able to store all of the audio, video, you name it, equipment that I use each and every day. I have everything organized in these drawers. I mentioned before that the studio is pretty picked up and clean. Well, the other thing that is really nice, what I wanted to have this year, was to be able to grab equipment very easily and then have a designated spot to put it away. That way, I'm only touching things one time to take it out and to put it away. I know exactly where it is at all times. I can clearly see it in the drawers, and this makes setup and tear down so much easier. It saves a ton of time. All you studio people, you know what I'm talking about as far as messes go, but these tool chests really make a huge difference. I do have some static camera set up here in the studio. I have my overhead camera rig set up and ready to go whenever possible, but I also have this camera on wheels. Now, this is not my idea. I stole bits and pieces from Caleb Pike over at DSLR Video Shooters, and then also Tom Buck has a similar setup as well. What is great about this setup, again, I have a camera on wheels. I can place this wherever I need to. Here in the studio, I have a monitor where I can clearly see whether I'm in frame and or in focus. I love using the prompter in this setup. So if I need to place my notes on the prompter when I'm recording a video, I can do that. I can also use this to live stream as well. Not only is this space used to capture videos for myself and my clients, but I also use this space to work. Here at my desk, I do all of my editing here, but more importantly, I also host all of my video conference calls here. I have an FX30 mounted just above my laptop. I have this running through the Streamer X. I use the Shure SM7B microphone in this case. And oftentimes this is a first impression with potential clients. So because I have an elevated setup like this one, which I'm going to admit is overkill probably for most people, this setup allows me to make that a great first impression. People can see that I have a professional setup. I get lots of positive comments about the way this looks and sounds. Having this setup has definitely won me a number of jobs. Now, the unsung hero to this entire setup is the lighting. My number one requirement for lighting here in the studio is zero fan noise. So I have been using these Godox lights for a handful of years now. Zero fan noise. I love them. They're larger in size, but they give me exactly what I need here in the studio. I'm using these dome soft boxes. I love to light up the space. So this is really my preferred lighting here. I have a panel light that I can use as a hair light sometimes depending on the angle. And I'm also using these June lights. One I use as a hair light behind me. And I have a second one mounted to my desk. Right now it has a snoot on it, but I can use this as a secondary light whenever I need it. I want to show you how easy it is to reconfigure this room. If I have clients coming in and they're recording a podcast, for instance, all I have to do is move my desk up and out of the way. I move my round podcast table over into this nice large size space. I can set up the backgrounds however I want, depending on look and feel that the client is looking for. And then I have my audio cart that I can move freely around, and I can connect all of my cameras and microphones and have everything set up and ready to go. And if I want to live stream, I can do that too. So as you can see, this new space is really set up for efficiency. It's set up to be able to move things around, set things up very quickly, and I'm hoping that this all works out. So is there anything that you see here in the studio that you would change? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this type of content, I invite you to subscribe. Thanks as always for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.